If you want to see a real $5 million portfolio, this is the video for you. I'm going to show you the exact investments that they own and why you might want to own different ones. That's right. The fees that are so high don't always add enough value to justify it. I'm going to show you how a $5 million real portfolio would compare to Vanguard, and the results are going to surprise you. I can promise you that. If you're looking for more guidance around tax strategy, retiring early, investment portfolios, healthcare, insurance, estate, talking to your parents about money and kids, you're in the right spot. I want to optimize your finances so you can spend time doing what you care about most. My name is Taublieb. I'm a certified financial planner. I'm the host of the Early Retirement Podcast, and I'm the vice president at Root. Let's have some fun. So in a previous video, I talked about the importance of investing well with a superhero account. A superhero account is not a 401k. It's not an IRA. It's not a Roth IRA. It's not a Roth 401k. It's not a SEP IRA. What the heck is it? It's not a real thing. I made it up. It's called a taxable account or a brokerage account or a joint account or an individual account or a non-qualified account. There's all these fancy names so that us advisors get to feel like we're smart. But the reality is I call it a superhero account because it is the account that allows you to retire early. You do not have to wait until 59 and a half to tap into these funds. What's the benefit? The benefit is you don't have to wait. I just told you until 59 and a half. The con is that you do not get a tax benefit. When you put money in, no tax benefit, but you get a real life benefit of getting the money if you want to. Imagine having $5 million in a 401k that you can't really tap into because you have to pay huge penalties and taxes. Well, that's almost like being house rich with my parents are. If you haven't seen that episode, my parents are house rich. They have a home in Malibu worth $6 million that they never want to sell. So their net worth is awesome, but they don't have much liquid investments, which means it's almost like a tease. They have this home they don't want to sell, so it's worth a lot of money, but they really can't use it to supplement income. I'm going to show you a $5 million portfolio of a client that came to me. We've since adjusted their portfolio. You're going to see where it came to me and if we were to use Vanguard as a comparison. Please know everything I go through is not one-on-one guidance. There's no financial advice today. Guys, please be smart about this. Consult your financial advisor, your tax preparer, your estate attorney before you're executing any real financial planning. So let's look at it. This is what's called a sample superhero account. You can see I changed the name for security purposes, but this is a real person. You can see I just blocked out his name here. So you can see he has lots of different mutual funds. That's what all of these accounts are here. These are all mutual funds. Now this is rare. I'd say the majority of you watching this video have an IRA, maybe a 401k, a Roth IRA. This person sold a business, didn't really have financial literacy growing up, and then just said, look, I'm going to take my buddy's recommendation. I'm going to buy a bunch of mutual funds that he tells me I should own. You're going to see the problem with that. So you can see he has an artisan small cap fund. He has a T. Rowe Price fund, a Vanguard fund. I'm not going to bore you to death with every single one, but it's important to know he has a diversified mix, which is good, but you can see he has $5.2 million is the total value. And all I'm doing over here is going, what if instead of all these investments, he put it in some low-cost Vanguard ETFs? What would the difference be at the end of the day? Not just in how much it's grown, but in fees, in terms of performance, in terms of distribution, so how much income it could create. That's what today's going to be about. First things first, you want to cut the fat out of your portfolio. This is going to apply to you if you have $5 million, $3 million, $2 million, $1 million, or $10. This principle applies. So look at this. This person said they had 2% in Microsoft when they came to me. I said, you don't have 2% in Microsoft. You have 2.03%, and that is just in this one mutual fund. You own a ton of mutual funds, and they all have a certain percentage in Microsoft. So you really have 2.5%. That's not egregious, but some of you guys think that you have 10% Apple right now, but you don't. You have 30% because you have a ton of mutual funds across all of your accounts that all own Apple. So don't have unnecessary fat because the fees add up. I'm going to show you what I mean. I told myself I would tell you guys this at the end, but I can't help it. So you can see, as I showed you, all of the mutual funds right here. These are all the mutual funds that this person owns. all of those mutual funds have a fee, and we don't want to pay unnecessary fees again and again if we're owning the same thing. That's just not efficient. You can see on this $5.2 million portfolio, the net expense ratio, I'll explain what that means, is 0.82%. So what that means is what are the fees of the funds that you own? So this is not the fee that's going to this guy's buddy. The buddy has nothing to do with that. Let's assume his buddy charges 1% on $5.2 million, which is a standard advisory fee. That's $52,000. So that's completely separate from what I'm telling you right now. This is just what is the fees inside of the investments that they own. So if we add up all of the fees on the far right, the net annual expense to own this, you can see the exact percentage and what weight is in every single fund. But just in light of time here, he's spending $43,000 a year in fees on top of what he's paying his advisor. So he's paying his advisor 1% of this. That would be $52,000. On top of that, his actual fund expenses are $43,000. So that's $95,000 a year in fees. If he's getting value for it, first person to say do it. But if he's not getting value, and sometimes I would argue you could do better by paying way less. Let me show you. So this guy had a bunch of fancy mutual funds. My first red flag is he's got a target date fund. I don't love target date funds. The reason for that is it has no idea, this target date fund, how much money this person wants to leave to their kids. It has no idea his tax liability. It doesn't know anything about him. He also has a target date fund that's 25 years later. It's not often I see that. Anyways, enough beating up that advisor. Here's my point. My point is if we were to use Vanguard, which you can see here, and I did a video here on a company that I think is better than Vanguard, but just using this as an example, you can see the fees would be $2,700 a year, 0.05. Now, if we knew we could pay $43,000 a year and get value in excess of that, meaning we know we pay 43 and we get 50, why would we not do that? That would be dumb. Of course we're going to do that. So let's go find out. So I could pick any time frame. I know I'm cherry picking here, but I'm just using this for simplicity argument. Okay. So look at this. All I did was I picked the last 3 years, which is what my software defaults to. You can see from November 14th, 2021 to November 13th, 2024, which is as of the recording of this video, you can see Vanguard portfolio, which I'm recommending 80% equities, would have done 8.3% in terms of growth, as opposed to, you can see, his portfolio of 5.2%. Why is this wild? This is wild because Vanguard did better even though it cost way less. The other reason it's wild is he has 88.3% equities. I have 81%. So if I were to ask you, do you think equities will grow more or less than bonds? What would you say? You'd probably say more. This is what's weird. I have less equities and I'm growing more. So this tells me Vanguard's not optimal. His portfolio is certainly not optimal. I'm not being mean to the guy, but when he first came to me, he was like, oh no, I get that it's not perfect. I just needed something to do. I have a buddy. They told me to invest in this. I just sold a business, so I put my money in. So this person doesn't have a lot of big gains in his portfolio. He can diversify and he's not going to have a big tax bill. Others of you, many of you watching the video, you might have a huge tax bill if you had to diversify because you're going to have to sell something, pay a ton in taxes, which means it might not make sense for you to diversify. It might make sense for you to hold on to that position and diversify some other investments where there's no tax liability. Everything I just went through should have been interesting. Here's my final point that really to me is the biggest thing we're going to talk about. Look at this right here. So he has 88% of his portfolio in North America. Now, I'm in North America. I'm in Los Angeles, right by UCLA. I am pro the US, okay? I'm an advocate of our country. At the same time, what you can see here, I'm recommending 66%, not 88%. Why is that? Well, look at this right here. If you retired in 2000 and had everything in the US is the yellow here. The US is the fourth worst performer. It lost more than 3% on average, and that's over a 10-year period. So what happens is, let's assume someone retires early They have no withdrawal strategy, meaning they don't know where to pull income from for tax purposes. They're paying for healthcare. So withdrawal, healthcare, travel, they're enjoying their retirement, happy days, and markets go down. Well, what might happen is they might spend their money too quickly, and now they might run the risk of running out of money. You don't want to be this person. The opposite could happen though. I will recognize that. Let's assume someone retired in 2010, and like this person had 88% in North America. Guess what, guys? They would have done better than me. The US was the second best performer. I like a diverse mix because I don't want someone to get lucky and have an amazing 10 years or get unlucky and not be able to retire or have to go back to work. I want you to know whether you get lucky or unlucky, you're going to be okay. So my point here is I would want to diversify this so that if this person does not get lucky and gets the bad 10 years, he's not going to have to go back to work. It's not often that you see a $5 million portfolio when there are minimal gains. So this is a rare situation, but I wanted to share it because a lot of you out there are like, wait a second. So like someone with $5 million isn't like a perfect financial portfolio and expert in finance. Like, no, there are lots of people that sell a business. They don't know anything about ETFs or mutual funds or tax strategy. And how could they? If you asked me a single thing about, pharmaceuticals, I wouldn't know what the heck I'm talking about. So this is why we exist. We want to do financial planning so that we can add value that not only justifies the fee, but allows you to do what you want most. So if you're looking for a custom strategy, of course, you can reach out to us and it'll be our pleasure to have a conversation to see if it makes sense. That's it for this video. See you guys next time.